All right. So last
So
time,
peeved.
previously on D&D, the Harvest Festival was flooded by the freak tsunami. You guys came to the aid of several townsfolk, some more successfully than others. Then the village of Swinford and the coastal areas were attacked by some unknown Piscine invaders that seemed hell-bent on killing folks, kidnapping others, destroying everything in sight. You dealt with them in the flooded forest just outside of Swinford, again in a small alcove just before the beach. I think we were here, if memory serves. So we'll jump right back in there with this. We had split the party. The four of you here were dealing with the Chul.
The Chul's dead, by the way.
It is, yes. And the other group had gone back to the village to make sure that the people that were injured got the care that they needed, and to check on the status of the village, which was also attacked by a Chul that had been previously damaged by something. We'll just jump in right to the action if that's all right with everybody.
Let's do it.
I love action.
As this group of four of you finish the fight, something bizarre happens. You are working with figuring out how to release the captives from this pen. Alexa had already freed the people that had their hands tied, if memory serves. Or no, maybe it was
Jezza,
It was me.
Jez that did it. I couldn't remember. I'm sorry. And you guys are just taking stock of the situation, trying to figure out. I don't think we ever got these people out of their containment vessel. But as you're watching these fish-like humanoids, their bodies begin to bloat and swell very, very rapidly, almost as if like the stages of decomposition had been radically accelerated. Yes, I can fix that.
That would be super helpful for me. Thank you.
Moving coming through.
Uh,
Do you see some of the names,
I see my own name.
I see my own name.
but you don't see anybody else's name?
Nope.
I don't see anyone's name at all.
Now everybody should be able to see your green bottle. True or false?
True.
Yep.
For me.
And now everybody should see Alexis.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
And now everybody should see Jezza.
Nope.
Not anymore. I'm all tabbed.
Ooh, Jez's token. He was
Yes.
hidden behind the Chul.
And Cal. That helps me a great deal. Thank you so much.
Whoa, your name is Kel? I had no idea!
Wait, really?
I was kidding.
Okay.
But to be perfectly honest with you, I just always thought of you as that necromancer badger lover in the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what my character thinks. I don't think we've ever met, actually. Actively.
Not actively, no.
Okay.
What
Name
char-
sheet.
What
Go ahead.
bodies were floating? Was it the enemies we just fought, you were saying?
Yeah, these weird fish creatures are beginning to bloat, swell, and then almost as suddenly as that process began, their skin literally liquefies, splashing all over the beach, splish, 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 becoming pools of slightly less than completely transparent water that just begins to stream away towards the coastline. As these streams of water issue forth back towards the ocean, the spears in the cart and the spears you each are holding similarly liquefy, becoming this almost living fluid that just joins up with all of the smaller hydrous flows of water heading back to the ocean until it becomes one contiguous stream heading back towards the beach.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a fun toy to hold on to. While it lasted.
Yes, organ liquid.
Kig saying organ liquid.
Guys, back at Swinford proper, you guys are experiencing the same thing. That massive chul that you destroyed suddenly liquefies into a giant puddle that splashes everywhere. but the water doesn't get absorbed into the ground, nor does it displace, in a giant splash pattern like a bucket of water might, but instead just takes one swirl gathering its mass and then just streams off almost like a snake taking serpentine coils down out of the forest towards the coast.
Benevolent GM, who I absolutely respect. I have one spell left and I want to try and use it.
Okay.
Seeing that, Zaz, suddenly thinking quickly because he's high on adrenaline, would like to cast Destroy Water and see what happens.
Okay. How much can you destroy?
10 gallons.
Nice.
10 gallon. No, it's that's create. Oh, it is destroy 10 gallons. Yeah.
Nice. You you don't have to be that close. Yeah, 30 feet is plenty. With a brief incantation to the storm god, you lash out with a reptilian finger, and a bolt of lightning literally strikes from the sky, hitting a patch of the water, instantly vaporizing a bunch of it. Small plumes of a water vapor still linger in the air, but they scintillate, glowing slightly, like they have almost a supernatural or magical property to them. It's kind of like a sparkler for a second. The second half, or the first half, depending on your orientation of the Chul liquid, continues to serpentine towards the beach. But you destroyed a good chunk of it. And this weird sort of haze still lingers in the air.
Stupid.
So if we fight that Chul again, it's just going to be a lower torso, and that's the easy
So
part.
here's my question. So this was what I was thinking about, but I didn't want to interrupt your spiel. When you were saying about the javelins turning into liquid, I was looking at my cantrips and I saw this ray of frost thing, and I was like, if I froze that liquid into the shape of a javelin, would it stay a javelin?
Try it, I suppose. Is like
I press ray of frost at the javelin in Jez's hands.
oh, rude. Not in the one in your hand.
I don't
I'm
have
not
one in my
holding one
hand.
anymore.
Yeah, or where you dropped it.
Okay,
at the very
yeah,
least.
it's like, don't shoot that at me.
As it begins to liquefy, you shoot it with ray of frost, freezing it in this. And it honestly kind of looks like an unfinished forge project where like someone took liquid metal and just threw it on the ground. It starts shaking violently and is literally being dragged through the sand by some unseen force, almost like an unseen person is just carrying it by the handle, dragging all three tines of the trident through the sand. It's really struggling it to do so, though.
Someone catch it!
Okay, runs forward, grabs it.
Okay. You have a ice cold, slightly melted trident replica in your hand. It's almost painfully cold to the touch, and as your grasp tightens, it starts to wriggle and try to get away from you. The warmth from your hand slightly melts the portions of the haft that you're touching, and as they drip to the ground, the sand doesn't absorb each droplet. Instead, each small, minuscule drop just begins rolling end over end down towards the coastline.
Can I dump out my water skin and fill it into my water skin?
Sure.
Do you want me to roll anything to do that?
No, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Just kind of catching the drops as the haft of the spear melts.
Yeah, just get some of it into the water skin.
Okay. If we sit here long enough for Reed's body warmth to melt about a third of it, that'll fill your water skin.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Does it do anything while it's in the water skin?
It feels like a small animal in a bag. Like, it feels almost like there's something living trying to kick and fight its way out of the bag.
Is it trying to kick and fight in a particular direction?
Always towards the coastline. No matter how you change the orientation or the height of the bag, it's always heading towards the beach.
Cool, we have a weird compass now.
Ta-da! My plan to give Reed Greenbottle a javelin failed, but now we have weird compass.
The people in front of Jezza are looking questionable, like they're trying to find the words to ask for you to get them out of here, but after everything they've just endured today, they might be in shock.
I kind of want to go look at the panel of the thing that they're currently trapped in.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll Arcana to figure out if I can see how to use it?
Yeah, that would be fair.
Yeah.
Again, the language is entirely foreign to you. You have no idea what it says proper, but you do understand magic, and seemingly no matter where you've been in this world, all magic follows fundamental principles, right? It's like how math is a universal language. The design of this makes some sense to you. You're not exactly sure how it was conjured, you're not sure how they power it, but you think you understand how to deactivate it. There's a small sequence of buttons, and you believe that you could interrupt the flow of power to it at least. Whether that damages it forever or not, you couldn't say, but you can definitely turn it off if you want.
I'm just gonna turn it off. I don't care if it's damaged forever.
Okay. You power it down. The uprights that were holding together these sort of rings of electricity collapse, falling inert in the sand, and the people that were captive take like tenuous steps over that threshold, and nothing bad happens to them. One of them hugs you, and the other two just take off running into the woods back towards the village.
Can I look at that language and see if I could make anything out from it?
Are you... Let me see here.
Yeah,
Give me
probably
one
not.
Inspect you.
Elvish, Goblin, and Common.
You could, if you wanted to, give me a history check with disadvantage because you're proficient in history.
Disadvantage?
It's-
Okie dokie.
Very, very unfamiliar.
Yeah. Nah.
Nope. Yeah, you're just not sure. It doesn't use any organized alphabet that you're familiar with. There aren't even letters or symbols that you truly recognize, so an entirely alien language.
Man, my lifetime in the library just gets me nothing, don't it?
Probably got you pale.
Very well, actually, I'm a 10 character, so
I guess not then. Must have been in the beach. Alright,
I was outside during the day.
We've got the half a chul liquid has left the village. It's you guys at this beach here, this little alcove, see a giant swarm of liquid come right past you, heading on its way to the beach.
Well, that's weird.
Should we be worried about that?
That's probably fine.
Well, I could fire another ray of frost at it, but I think it's gone at this point.
Has anyone checked on these people up here yet?
Yes, they're just in shock, dumbstruck by what's happening, kind of just waiting to see what you guys are going to do. Some people seem reluctant to leave this area because by themselves they were captured and nearly killed. They're just sometimes just standing still is the right course of action.
I'm beginning to feel like the danger is temporarily past. It might be safe to head back to the village.
I see you fixed this. I don't know what you did different, but I can now tell people what my spells do.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I literally don't know what happened or what changed. I logged in today to try to duplicate the error that you guys were experiencing, and it worked fine. For me anyway. And so I was like, I guess I fixed it.
You definitely fixed it.
Thank you, Try.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we are at an impasse here. There's no more immediate danger in this vicinity. You have flowing liquid moving on its own towards the beach, and villagers that are aimless at the moment but might want an escort back to the village. Or we could just make our home here on this lovely little beach cove, and Jezza can start work on a coconut phone.
I think we should go back. We should escort these poor villagers back to their village, and then maybe take a short and/or long rest, and therefore get all our stuff back before we go into a fight where I can only throw spears and knives.
Cool.
Okay. Unless there is a divergent opinion, we all go back to the village together as one.
Oh, sounds good.
Once there, you see several families still looking for lost and missing peoples. There's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of heartache going around. It's hard for you to not feel invested in some of these people's tragedy. But just pushing aside the people with their hands out asking for help, you guys are able to find a shady corner and take a 60-minute rest to recover some, if you want to spend hit dice or whatever.
I would. So, do we just heal back to full, or how exactly do we do that?
During a short rest, your character sheet has hit dice listed on it. Let me follow along with you so that we can be talking about the same thing. If you look at your character sheet,
Yeah, I see it. Hit dice right under
dice.
temporary hit
So-
points.
everybody's got a number of hit dice equal to their character level. During a short rest, which is 60 minutes, you can spend any number of those. So in your case, from 1 to 4 of those, and the game will roll it for you if you click on the word hit dice. It rolls your character's hit point die and adds your constitution modifier to it, and you restore that many hit points.
Oh, Lash.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
How do you do it, man?
I'm spending 3 because fuck that first one. Jesus fuck.
Jeez.
Shit. Did I really roll an 8? Okay.
You did as well as you could hope to do.
And it was more than I needed to do, so sure.
So I get to gain 12 hit points back?
Right, and it should go without saying, but you can't gain more than your maximum.
Right.
There is a element of temporary hit points in 5th edition, but your normal healing and hit dice restoration do not accomplish that.
I get my key back. Yay!
But I don't get any spell slots back, right?
How'd you get your key back?
Without buying them with sorcery points, no.
Great.
Oh, let me look at key.
at least I got some spells back.
So we're all back to the village now?
You got some spells back.
Yeah, wizards get the
Arcane
I don't remember what
recovery,
it's called. Yeah, they can recover some spell slots during a short rest.
but only once per day.
Yeah, I'm kind of out and useless.
I can't swap out any spells until long rest, though, right?
That is correct.
How long is...
I mistaked in not preparing art mage armor.
I did not realize you can get key back with a short rest. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Reminder.
Do you get sorcery points for...
You'd have to read the entry. I don't think so, though. I think sorcery points are per day. Yep, long rest.
Wow. I'm kind of fucked.
That's okay. Your monks will help you out.
Nice. As you guys are stepping up on your feet again, tired, disheveled, really kind of just beat down by the last 2 hours of this morning, there's some commotion. The constable, basically the local sheriff in charge of Swinford, is talking to some people who are arming themselves with pitchforks. You see one guy trying to wrap with some baling wire the shattered hammer of a maul. It looks like he's organizing a militia.
Guess I'll walk up to him and ask him, what are y'all planning on doing?
As you approach, "Are you here to enlist, son? We need every able-bodied man we can find."
Tell him to calm down and ask him, who are they planning on fighting?
Have you not seen the beach?
Did more come back?
Come back! They're setting up shop! They've taken more of us!
Which way do they take them?
Yeah, which way did they take him?
Sitting at the beach with their goddamned bubble.
Huh. I'm gonna give like a kind of awkward laugh and walk back to the group and tell them what the guy just told me.
Is it the same group that we were just at?
No, you guys haven't been to the beach yet. This is the map that we're on now is a coastal cove, inset a little bit. He's talking about at the beach proper, where the waves break on the sand.
Perhaps we should investigate.
Sounds good.
Investigating sounds like a good idea.
Do we care about stealth?
Yes.
Yes.
Not really.
That sounds like a stealth check.
I care about stealth.
Yes.
The
Well, now
boisterous
that you mention
half-dwarf
it.
does not really care about stealth.
The half-elf sorcerer cares about stealth.
As we are moving together as a single unit, as a cohesive party, I would like one person to take the responsibility of leading the group, and that person will helm the stealth check.
What is your basics? What is your stealth at?
8?
Is it +8?
It's 8.
I think basic should help the stealth check.
I think
Mine's only 5.
I think Kig the Dagger should helm the stealth check.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Am I here?
I'm
Okay,
3
you are now.
feet tall.
Okay.
So Kig, go ahead and give us a stealth check. That's representative of you just kind of keeping everybody in a quiet, low line, trying to make the trip as easy as you can for the people you know that aren't very quiet or sneaky.
I'm just curious
You-
as to what I would roll in. Kig,
I'm also curious.
That was
Oh,
cute.
wow.
Pretty good.
Nice work.
We're playing this game.
I could potentially roll. I just want to say I could
we're-
potentially roll
we're not
negative.
stealth.
Oh man, that actually is my favorite stealth roll, the negative stealth. A 0. I like the 0.
And not?
Oh, I'm still raging. Hold on.
I'm a little happy
We're
that
gonna
we
take it
didn't put me in charge of that, I guess.
Kig, you do a fine job of retracing the steps that we've already been, going back through the flooded forest to that small coastal alcove where you had just finished freeing people not but an hour before. There are troughs in the sand here left by that flowing hydrous fluid. It eventually leads down to a beach. You creep over some taller rocky outcroppings and you can see the ocean now. Kig, if you want to go any further on your own, I'd like a stealth check for you sneaking ahead. This is as far as you're comfortable taking the group of people without alerting anyone to your presence. Do you think if we were to go any farther, all of us, that we'd be pretty easily detected?
So you said I can see the ocean? There's no tsunami or anything anymore? Like, bunch of, nothing like washing up on shore that I can't see?
Why don't you give me a perception check, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Oh, this is bad.
I saw a rock.
It is challenging because of your poor burning eyes due to the sunlight sensitivity. Maybe you weren't the best advanced scout. You see the wreckage of a ship crashed on the rocky shores. You also see several of these fishy-like humanoid creatures walking up and down the beach. There are several positioned on rocks, almost like sentries. And then patrolling all along the beach is a giant fish creature. He looks very similar to the ones you fought in the forest, only this one's like 16 or 17 feet tall and densely muscled. He's got 4 arms and 2 legs instead of 2 arms and 2 legs, and he carries a brutal warglaive strapped to his back. And just beyond him, you can see a sphere of scintillating floating fluid about 40 feet in diameter, just sitting half on the beach, half in the water. And you see sort of vague forms moving about within that sphere, but you can't, from your vantage and with that roll, you don't have any more.
Okay. Well, does anyone want to come with me? That's kind of dangerous.
I'll come with you.
All right. Well, we both have the stealth
Well,
check.
hopefully I got the shitty one out of the way, but
Would you like third?
I'll go forward.
oh, I'm gonna roll.
But yeah, come on. If we can make it. Oh my gosh!
Well,
All right.
I'm seen.
Uh,
The rogue rolled the one.
I'm gonna say in like a very loud, hushed tone that I'm gonna stay behind.
So
You guys go ahead.
ahead.
I'll be back here.
Just gonna be like, y'all go ahead without me.
I point my quarterstaff at Leo. I'm staying with him.
All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this move now so that it makes life simpler. This is the scene that lies before you.
That's a bubble.
Ooh, bubbly.
Bubbly.
Booble.
Boo-boo.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Aye, there's a kobold.
So Leo and Jezza decided to stay back a little bit. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably stay on the outskirts.
And everybody
Zaz
else
is also staying back. He's tired still.
very sleepy. Everybody else came right around to about here, at the smallest bit of rock that still exists. You're about 15 feet off the elevation of the beach, and you look down on this scene as it is portrayed. To make, I guess, turn tracking easier, do you guys want to just roll initiative for me now? That way we don't have to talk through 7 different people's actions. We'll just know who's doing what, when, and where.
Just so we're clear from our point of view, can we see what's right here?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yes.
So let's
I'm gonna go take a nap.
Can I keep my 13, or do I have to keep the 5?
Oh no, I can fix the. Who are we missing? Or no, we're 7 tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I missing?
You're missing Zaz.
Zaz with the 1.
Sure, he doesn't appreciate that.
No, Zaz said he was taking a nap.
I was hoping that Zell did not mean that literally as a player.
That's why I said Zaz was taking a nap.
All right, Jezza, despite holding back, you have the initiative. You can read in people's body language there's sudden tension. That sort of primal fight or flight instinct seems to wash over the faces of your comrades. You can sense imminent danger.
Okay. I would like to, sensing the imminent danger that they're in, I figure I would like to see first what we're up against because I am short and I can probably barely see over the cliff. So I am going to try and climb my character up this rock cliff, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Each one's 5 feet up, so I'm going to try and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Scramble my way up, and then 6. I have a speed of 40, right? Yeah. 7. And then I'm all the way up here. And what can I see from up here? In regards to the battlefield, do I have a clear vision on everything?
Yeah, I think
here?
everything that's laid out is something that your character would see, including the guy over here on this rock that's at roughly the same elevation as you.
Okay.
You guys are, if he saw you, were looking eye to eye.
What exactly are these starfish things?
Hard to say.
Would that be a perception?
You can make a perception roll, but I don't know that will necessarily tell you what it is, only so much as what it looks like.
Okay.
Looks like a star.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna hop over here with my last move here real quick, and I'm just going to kind of do nothing at the moment. Just kind of look at everything and be like, I'm not going in that. Nope.
I'm gonna take a wild, out of character guess, and those probably look like the anchor points for the for the shield bubble that's around the big lady. So we probably have to break those.
Definitely something there.
Alexis, it's your turn. Are there any actions you would like to take?
No, I think I'm good hiding behind the rock.
Okay. As you survey the landscape, you can see in the bubble several human villagers from the town of Swinford are being bound together in links of chain, and they seem to be inspected by a much larger creature that has tentacles flowing from everywhere. Very Crucible of Stormzy, since we were just talking about that earlier.
What if I did prestidigitation and I made a weird little sound behind the lady's head?
What is the range on prestidigitation?
That is a good question.
Also, what's the sound?
Not far enough. Okay.
No,
I
it is
do
not.
nothing.
What
I
would
do
the sound been?
A very loud pop.
I hear good things about jumping on Leo's hammer and having him throw you places. I mean,
Yes,
if you
but
can get
I also
We call it
definitely,
yeet, baby.
I also do not have any magic currently outside of cantrips, and I've got a crossbow. So I'm gonna be playing. Kig the sword this game.
Please don't.
As in, I'm gonna be using my crossbow and everything.
Kig the bow.
As-
By the way,
Kig the dagger in my character's headcanon. By the way, my nickname for you is Dagger.
rude.
But accurate.
but accurate.
Hey, basics. I think you have your audio, in-game audio on Roll20 because you keep lighting it up for me that whenever you speak.
Yeah, it's going.
Ooh, I'm
No, you're
sorry.
fine. I can't hear you through it because I have my audio off. I just noticed it's lighting up.
Disable.
It says I want to broadcast nothing to others, so I don't know.
That's
That is
strange.
If it's
Yeah.
not bothering anybody, it doesn't
I'm
matter.
using push to talk on Discord today.
I'm
though,
not
so-
hearing any back
Maybe it's the
sound,
same button.
but yeah.
The fishman, for lack of a better description, on this rock here is surveilling the landscape. He's obviously a sentry and he's just doing a big sweep. Jezza, you hide behind the boulder. Zaz and Leo, you guys aren't in any real danger in the shrubs there. He suddenly stops and seems to be zeroing in, keening his eyes towards where Kig is standing. He has perceived you. The Piscine creature reaches two hands out above the center of this large metallic starfish item, and a globe of water rises up from the center, and he's able to touch it, and it hums, and then
He's
flashes bright white as a beam of energy lasers out of it directly at Kig. Give me 1 second.
I duck.
Quack, quack.
yeah. How did he see us?
Well, you rolled a
have
9.
No, you rolled a 9.
Actually, you rolled a 1.
It burrows into the stone right beside you, drilling a giant hole almost a foot in diameter, leaving it smoking. He's a terrible shot, apparently, but the rest of the camp comes alive and starts looking at the hillside, and you can hear cries in a language you don't understand, seeming them shouting orders to one another.
I point at Kig and be like, "It's the dagger's fault."
Kel, you react next. You can hear an unfamiliar language, crying, but the sounds of alarm are all too familiar.
Cool. I'm curious what those weird starfish are and whether I need to do a perception or if they are magical in nature, if I can just go
They're
straight for an arcana.
weapons.
Oh, wait.
Having seen them shoot a
Sorry.
beam of energy out, I think it's safe to say that they're magic of some kind.
Great. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm still hiding, so I'm just gonna sit this one out for a second.
Fair enough. Reed?
If I can do it, I don't know how much attention's over here, but as hidden as possible, I'd like to try to rush to over here.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me with disadvantage as you cross that open gap.
Alrighty then. Disadvantage stealth. Ooh. Well, fuck, I'm seen. So anyways, I'm over here.
Yeah, you book it because you're very fast as a monk, but as soon as you cross that gateway, you can see the giant hulking behemoth on the beach just stare directly at you, tracing your movements, and you can hear the heavy footfalls of his body as he's starting to lumber towards you. And you can hear the person on the cliff that you're next to scrambling, trying to figure out how to see you or draw a line of effect to you.
And because it's more than 30 feet, should that end my turn? I'm still trying to remember those rules.
Yes, you can use your action to make additional movement, but that means that would be in lieu of an attack. You have a bonus action left. If you would rather have spent a key point to bonus action, then you can have your action back.
Okay.
Or
I think I will endeavor to move just a little bit further out of sight and just stay there for the moment.
Okay.
And hopefully remain unseen after exposing myself so horribly.
All right, Leo, you watch Reed Greenbottle just charge into the beach. At this point, basically behind enemy lines.
I'm gonna climb up here, I think.
Okay.
Find Jezza. That's not gonna take a roll or anything, right?
Are you proficient in athletics?
Yes.
Then you're good to go.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just gonna go up to Jezza and be like, how about another hammer toss across the
No.
gap?
I look at you.
Say something along the lines of, we saw that laser beam firing at our friends. We should probably help them out. How about another hammer toss across the gap?
I take my quarterstaff, I tap you on the leg, and I point far out in the distance, and I go, and I'm aiming right over here to this far one that's just at the edge of vision. And I say, you want to get Swiss cheesed? Or do you want to Swiss cheese me? No, I'm going the long way.
I guess I'll laugh and say, all right, that's fair, and I'll ready a javelin.
Okay.
I don't think I can throw a javelin that far to this guy.
No. I think 30
just
yeah,
straight up
pretty far.
No.
Actually, let me look that up, because there's a range at which you'll make the attack with disadvantage, but it's not within fall off yet.
Okay.
Give me just 1 second to look that up.
Because this is like 80 feet. That's pretty far.
Yeah, it's got you can go between 31 and 120 feet at disadvantage. 120 is the fall off of its effective range. So you can make that attack with a javelin at disadvantage.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna yeet the javelin at this guy.
Is this Shadow Dagger of mine? Is this the
spell?
The Shadow Blade? Okay, thank you.
Mhm, yeah.
I was very confused. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I have a magical item.
You
That is
yeeted.
a hit.
No rage though, right?
No rage. I haven't raged yet. Oh, yeah. Ignore the rage.
You, despite the enormous distance between these two pillars, you plant your feet almost like Olympian style and just throw this javelin with all the strength in your massive dwarven frame. It takes this sort of beautiful ballistic high arc and just comes crashing down right through his sternum. He coughs twice and his hands fall off of the glowing orb, which then sinks back into the metallic starfish, and he lurches, staring at you with vitriol in his face.
Is he dead?
No, he's still very much alive.
Very much alive, just hurt.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ooh, more for me.
I guess I'll just say as an incidental, is like hopefully that'll draw their attention towards me and away from the group.
Tag. Kig, you watch a friendly javelin sail across the sky and impale one of those fish creatures.
Excellent.
He's clawing his way off of the spear rather than dragging the spear out of his chest. He's like literally standing up, and the javelin's being left in the stone behind him. It's a little grotesque to watch.
That's metal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and hide. I'm gonna kind of zoom to where Reed is with my dash and my movement.
Again, give me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Better than me.
Okay. You are also fairly certain that you've been detected at least by the large brute that's already moving towards Reed's position. But you make the journey.
Yeah, I just wanted to get behind cover, and then from there I can hide on my next turn or something.
Go ahead and put yourself where you want to be.
Right. Cool.
Done. Zaz, I'm bringing up the end of round 1. Some of the party have sprinted for the beach. Others taking the high ground approach. What do you want to do?
I want to point out that we have a party of a tank that's hiding, 4 stealthies, a goblin that I just didn't see what they were doing, and then me.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding.
So Zaz is actually going to sigh and just walk forward.
Somehow it's me.
And he's going to start specifically chanting what can only be described in Draconic as swearing at Umberly as he walks his 30 feet and shouts as best he can. He's tiny and tired, but is going to try and get out a Toll the Dead and just make some noise so that, I don't know, somebody that's hiding doesn't get spotted for a second.
Who are you targeting with Toll?
If I'm right, I am out of range of the big guy, and that makes me... No, I am! Heck yeah! I'm apparently also going to hit the big guy.
Cool.
And I have that set up, so that if I'm right, all I have to do is hit this button. Cool. I don't think that did what I wanted it to do.
Well, it rolled damage, but it rolled the damage under the condition that the creature was wounded, which it is not. So you'll need to re-roll as...
Wait, is that not the javelin recipient?
No,
The javelin recipient's this guy.
Is the guy at the starfish, the one marked with the blue icon.
Well, forgive me. I'm trying to hit whichever one is wounded so that I can make them more wounded.
Sure.
In either way, it's going to do a really not my favorite job.
This looks like an attack roll. I thought Toll the Dead was a save.
I'm so confused.
This button.
Yeah, if you mouse over the 6 under Toll the Dead, it's rolling a 20-sided die. How did you do that?
I'm going to be honest, Try. Whatever I did 4 weeks ago was before my character got tired, and now I'm tired, so I have no idea.
Okay.
But I
Wisdom.
legitimately don't know another way to cast this spell.
I'm going to mark it down to 6 damage, but I'm not sure, like, looking at the math in that roll, I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Could that be the save that he has to roll against? Is a 6?
That would make
Rolling
sense.
1d20 CS greater than 20 plus 2 plus wisdom modifier plus 2.
This is a
I was
very
muted
odd
this whole
roll.
time.
Welcome back.
Yeah, he rolled a 2.
That doesn't make any sense. You should have a spell save DC since it's a wisdom saving throw.
Right.
Yeah, he should just have to save like it's like a 14.
And then
thing.
it's just like a 1d12.
Mm-hmm. I'm still just befuddled. If you, like I said, if you highlight over the 6 that string of math, I have no idea what that. Like, I don't know what that says. Oh, good God.
I mean, it all makes sense. Like I can read it. I just don't know how it works in the system.
Right. So there should be no 20-sided die roll from you. The recipient of your Toll the Dead attack has to make a saving throw, wisdom saving throw, equal to your spell DC.
What I could only assume
Yes.
is happening here is that it's assuming that Zaz is casting Toll the Dead on themselves or something like that, and so therefore it just did that.
I don't know.
How
I'm going to
weird.
count it as 6 damage to him, and we're going to move on. We'll figure it out next time.
Okay.
The sonorous hum of the bell seems to drive him almost mad. He clutches the small, like, slit-covered inlets on the sides of his head, like the vibration is causing him undue pain. He's having a hard time focusing. Jezza, start of round 2.
Okay. Having surveilled the battlefield, I have decided that. Sorry, I saw the pointer. I'm going to move 5, 10, 15. I'm going to take dash as my primary action this turn.
Okay.
So 5, 10, 15, and then to drop down this cliff, it says 20 here, so I'm assuming that's 20 feet of movement.
Correct.
Yeah, so 5, 10, 15, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 70, or
I would be able to move
70, 75, 80. I can move all the way over there with dash, because dash doubles your speed, right?
Dash just lets you take movement again using your action. Or in your case, you're using a bonus action if you're spending a key point.
I am not. I'm using dash as my primary action.
Sure. If
So-
you do nothing, if you spend a key point and do nothing else, you can move your move speed times 3.
Nah,
So,
I'm gonna.
okay.
I'm good. I hop down. Easy for a monk. 20 feet. You know, even a tiny monk, and then I
Mhm.
slowly dash slowly, fast little steps, make my way along this upper cliff edge, trying my best not to draw anyone's attention.
If you want to make a stealth check, it'll be at disadvantage.
I guess I am in plain sight up here, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Oh, wait, hold on. I'll just roll again and we'll
Just
take the
roll
lower
more
one,
time,
right?
Yeah. Yep. 10 it is.
Yep.
Alexis, from your hidden vantage, you can see 2 teammates rush towards the beach. You can see Jezza in your periphery running along the far side of the cliff face. They're putting something together. What do you want to do?
I fire at the guy that's almost dead.
Okay, that's a hit.
It does 10 damage.
It's a headshot. You load your light crossbow, take aim, curse not having any available spell slots. It goes right through his eye. The bolt almost fully perforates out the back of his skull. He just collapses backwards, falling into the sea.
Fantastic. I stay hidden. Kidding. If you allow it, I stay hidden. If not, whatever. I'm here.
That was your turn. You're going to stay where you are?
If I can, I prefer to stay hidden, but if that's not possible, whatever.
In combat, after you just made an attack, you're not really going to get to hide again. It's just
But
not.
I'm behind a rock, and I fired at a dude that only one person had line of sight with me, and that's the dude I hit him.
Give me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Okay. All right.
1 and 1.
Let me argue severely my case.
Two critical fails.
Fuck me! These guys hate me.
I mean, that's what I rolled.
Fine. People know
Is
where
it,
I'm at.
is it Big Fish Man? Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my
Big
lord.
Fish Man now sees me.
Okay,
Basics, she said, "Oh my lord," and I said,
Well,
"He coming."
would I be considered hidden from this guy? Could I when it ever is my turn, would I be able to hide
think-
because of the rock right now? Or can he
I don't
see
think
me? Is he so
anybody's
tall?
hidden right now.
I don't think anybody's hidden right now. Yeah, it's the correct
I'm
assumption.
still hidden.
I guess that's fair. You haven't taken any action and you made a good stealth check. The big guy comes lumbering around the thing, doesn't have enough action to make it all the way to you yet, but you can hear the heavy footfalls. You can smell like a disgusting seaweed and fish aroma. The smaller Piscean creatures move to midway between where they were and where you guys are in that mid tier of the cliff adjacent to the ship. And these two guys fire their trident bolts. One at Zaz, one at Alexis. Alexis, I think 16 hits you for 7 points
Great.
of piercing, and Zaz, I think 15 misses you. Is that correct?
That is
Yeah,
correct.
the two prongs fire off. You're able to put your shield up just in time to absorb the two things, and you watch as the tines of the trident slowly start to regrow. And the caster in the back. 1 second, fellas. Sorry about this. My sheet got closed. Will cast a spell at Alexis. And it misses, or does that match? That matches.
Matches.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
Look at those dice. Just mouse over the damage.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
Oh,
Sorry.
wow.
She casts a guiding bolt, putting her hands together. A torrent of blue energy flashes, and a narrow, focused beam of energy fires from her outstretched hand, piercing Alexis right in the chest. As she hunches over, you guys can see, or Kelly, you can see specifically, there's a hole in her back. You can see the sea and the creature that shot her through the gaping hole in her corpse as it slumps forward.
Nice.
Alexis is now dying.
I'm gonna go to bed.
You'll
I don't want
no.
to play anymore.
Oh, you're gonna be fine.
be fine.
I have a hole
there-
in me, Try.
There is no zero, or there is no negative. So when you take lethal damage, you just drop to 0. As long as the damage that you were dealt doesn't exceed your maximum HP, you just go into the death saving throw phases of dying. So at the beginning of each of your turns, you'll roll a death saving throw. If you fail 3, then you actually die. If you critically succeed, you pop up with 1 hit point. If you succeed 3, you stay at 0 but are stable until someone can heal you.
I'm gonna fail every one of them, guaranteed.
Good thing we've got people that can help. Kel, it's your turn.
Well, here's the thing: if you die, Kel will just bring it back. He'll be
Yeah.
fine,
Hmm.
and you'll be an undead half elf.
You might just need to re-roll your character sheet. That's all.
I'm gonna step 5 feet forward, and I hope this doesn't end terribly for me. I'd like the big guy to make a Constitution saving throw for me as I cast blindness.
13.
Doesn't work. He is now blind.
That seems pretty good.
For a minute, but can make at the end of each of its turns can make a Constitution saving throw.
Nice.
I can't use a bonus action to try and do unskilled medicine for Alexis, can I?
I got it. It's fine.
I actually would allow a medicine check as a bonus action, just to attempt to stabilize. Do you have a healer's kit?
No, I can just put pressure on the wound.
Don't worry about it. I got a spell
Okay.
for this.
We'll defer to Zaz's medical expertise then. Do you want to move, Kel? You have quite a bit left.
No, I think I'm pretty good where I am actually.
Okay.
Unless I can take cover behind a rock, so I'm not targeted by the spells. That's the only thing
Yeah.
that I would consider.
Yeah, you could, or going back to the underbrush here would give you some cover probably also. But if you go right back to where you were,
Yeah.
Reed, your turn.
All right. Being at a slight disadvantage from the positioning, I don't think I saw that guy die, so I'm going to do what I originally planned to do, which was use my character to use my acrobatics to like vault between the two rock pillars and up to the top.
Mhm.
Oh, look! There's a corpse on the ground or water.
With a javelin.
The
With
corpse has
javelin.
actually fallen backwards into the ocean.
Oh, okay.
But
There's
you
nothing
do
here.
You do have a
There's a
ballista.
javelin.
You can
Do you
use
have
the
a ballista?
ballista.
Well, that was
Attempt to use the magical
listening.
ballista.
Look at this. What everyone's saying. I look at the ballista and see if there's anything I can do with it since I'm here beside it.
It is completely still and silent. You don't see any buttons on it. There's no interface. There's no handles, no trigger, no control. Just a 5-pointed metallic star that houses a chamber with like glowing, jostling fuel in it or fluid in it that you saw rise before and become that beam that shot through or shot at Kig. But for you, it's inert.
Fantastic. Seeing that this has no reaction to me at all, I would like to attack this guy.
Okay. Are you gonna like jump down on him?
No, I'm going to stay above him and use my radiant
You can throw a
sunbolt.
javelin at him.
Nice. Kame. Hit.
Nice.
My hand begins to glow and I just shoot a bolt of ray, light, whatever, sunlight at him. I didn't mean to click twice, sorry. 4. And I will spend a key point to do it again.
Okay. Nice.
Ooh.
Roll damage on that one. 7.
Plus the.
Did the 15 hit?
The 15 also hits.
Are we pulling from this critical hit thing?
Oh, you're right. Hey. So I added the critical hit, critical fumble macro at the bottom there. That'll just auto roll a 100-sided.
Where did you add it?
You didn't add it to everybody else.
Really?
Nope.
You have to. All right, everybody, go to your macros. Go to the hamburger thing. You'll see crit hit fumble roll. It is going to not be toggled. Go ahead and toggle that macro in your macros. So now it's at the
I
bottom.
thought I had said that earlier today.
New.
I also took my headset off for a while, so
Have no
Just-
fear. It is now there if you are doing that.
whatever 11 is.
11 on the critical weapon. Critical hit isn't technically.
You know how to
they're
press the
weapons.
advantage. You gain advantage on all attacks against your target until the end of the next turn.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Cool.
Excellent.
Does that mean that second or that last roll gets advantage?
Technically, yes.
You
Do
should
wanna
roll it
check
again.
20 to make sure it's not a crit.
Do it.
Gurgles.
Do it.
Roll it. Just do a standard roll a second time.
Yeah, just one normal radiant sunbolt attack.
We'll take the first one. Awesome.
You never know. All right, Reed, you fire down a couple of sunbolts. One that seems way more powerful than the others. You feel almost bad for a minute as the creature looks up with you, and its eyes are just opaque white, and it's kind of just clawing at, from his perspective, the infinite darkness, trying to figure out what's attacking him. Leo,
That was out
you're
loud.
a stupid creature.
Seeing my half-elf friend slump over with a hole through her, I'm gonna rage and yell for Cosmodon and rush down this hill.
Did you say for
Thanks.
Cosmodon?
Did you just say
Yeah.
Cosmodon?
I did,
Oh, wow.
and then I'll make it to out here.
Fair enough.
And then I guess that's it.
Okay. Do you have anything left to make an attack with?
No. I actually use my movement twice as my action.
Are you a totem barbarian? Because I think you can use your bonus to sprint while you're raging.
No, I'm a guardian, I believe.
Then if you needed to move twice, you are out of actions.
Okay.
Kig,
All right, I want to use my bonus action to try and hide again.
okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check as you just really cozy up to that rock.
Okay.
24 seems good.
Does that work?
Mhm.
Hey,
All right. Okay.
Nick, aren't you in
I'm
the
gonna
shade
use my
there?
movement. It doesn't matter. I'm coming out
Oh,
of it.
damn.
I'm gonna move right here, and I'm just gonna shoot him with my bow. The big guy.
Are you proficient in athletics? Oh no, second story work. Never mind. Yep,
Yeah. Mhm.
big guy, fire.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I forgot to put it on normal. There we go.
Hit.
I'll take it.
I think you should.
Kig the bow.
I'm excited to see Kig the sword one day, but Bowman Kig's doing.
If we,
I mean,
if we ever get out of this wretched sunlight, maybe you will, and I can use my feet.
I mean, Kig is using little daggers and on the top of sticks that he's shooting out of a bow.
Oh my gosh,
Don't
those
tell
aren't
John about King the
daggers.
Thief.
Zaz, your turn. Tragedy strikes. Alexis lays dying in the sand.
No, seriously, Zaz is tired, and at this point, 4 people trying to hide. He's annoyed, and so he's going to shout, "Will one of you cowards please go fight?"
I did and died for it.
What do you think I'm doing up here?
Oh my god,
Zaz
you
is
can try
going
to
to,
revive him.
still walking, because he's not running for this. Kneel down and touch Alexis with a spare the dying, which I'm going to link as soon as I can find my character sheet.
I left it, I swear.
Please? There it is. I did it.
Okay. Zaz reaches down, placing his hand just above the open cavity in Alexis's chest, mutters just a few brief words, and the cavity is suddenly filled with this sort of roiling, radiant energy. Kel and Leo, from the outside looking in, it almost looks like a small storm cloud is churning in the empty space inside of Alexis's chest, but it stops any of the blood from escaping her body, and it seems to be rhythmically keeping her body functioning. For the time being, Alexis is in no danger of dying.
Whoa,
Nice.
that's pretty cool.
I make a gurgling sound.
Do you want to do anything else, Zaz?
I don't really have much else I can do. Thank you, though.
Jezza.
Yes. So, being kind of out of the loop as to what's happening over there, not knowing that my good friend is now one whole lighter,
Mhm.
I'm going to, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
It's the one thing you
And
can add to an Alexis that makes her lighter.
I'm going to take dash again as my primary action.
Okay.
And so, okay, so hold on. I'm going to zoom in here for a second. Just to make sure I'm reading this right. So, here it says 30 feet. Here it says 20 feet. I'm assuming where I am right now is about a 25-foot drop.
That seems fair.
Yeah. All right. So 25, 5, 30, 35. And now, with where I am, now that I'm back down on the beach or on the beach, I was never on the beach. I guess that's it, because that's really all I can do from here.
Okay. Alexis, you
Can't
don't have
do
to
anything.
Yep. Boy. This guy just kind of, the giant creature slashes wildly at the stony edifice that you're standing on top of until the end of his turn, where he makes a second Constitution saving throw and is remaining blind. These guys are still recharging their spears. They're gonna take partial cover behind the rocks here. I guess I'm gonna help you out, probably. The caster Piscine creature summons this spectral trident that glows red hot right in front of you. It materializes, and she'll take a slash at you with it.
Misses.
Grab it! Nice. One
Working
second.
around hot metal all day, I know how to avoid that shit.
And you're in a good spot. The second arcane ballista, for lack of a better term, fires at your position, going wide, probably because of the distance. That narrow, foot-long diameter beam just blazes right past your face. Kel, it's your turn.
Sure. I am going to, since I think the caster is more of a danger to us than either of the others, actually, sure. I'd like, saving throw is that? Oh, I have to make it. I'm gonna cast Witch Bolt on the caster.
Witch Bolt?
Yes. Fuck.
It misses, unfortunately.
Butts.
You reach out, trying to establish that tethery link of sort of necrotic lightning. It arcs near her, but catches on the boat and just starts shocking all the corpses on that boat. In like a weird misgrounding situation.
I pet my badger in frustration.
Excellent. Reed.
I pull out my sickle and I'm going to leap down and try to drive it into the creature's head.
Okay. Make your attack. Oh, you already have advantage. Make your attack with advantage.
Excellent. Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. Okay, I'm happy for that 23.
Roll damage.
And then I am also going to spend another key point. Wrong way. And do my unarmed strike. My palms begin to glow as I strike 2 more times.
Hit and hit. Thank you, advantage.
Thank
For a
you,
total
advantage.
of 9. Nice, you're pummeling the shit out of this giant thing. Probably because he's blind. That seems rude.
And I feel like shifting back to normal for the second. Seems to be... No, I'll stay. Never mind. I'm not talking. I'm done.
Okay. Leo. You watch as little Reed Greenbottle has just beaten this creature half to death. Over the last 10 seconds.
I'm gonna charge him.
Okay.
Think I have enough. Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be disadvantaged or leaving combat with this thing?
No, it doesn't. It's a conjured item. It doesn't provoke.
Okay. So I'm gonna run here and I'm just gonna manville this thing.
Okay.
With raged. With my, what is it? The
Reckless.
Yeah, reckless.
That is a hit.
And then my spiritual guardians are gonna be taunting it, whispering insults into its ears since it's blind.
I forget. Do I have to make a save, or is it just a function of you hitting?
It's just a function of me hitting.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, you crash into it with the manville. You can hear like its massive femur bone crack under the weight of the strike. Already blinded, this guy's really not having a great day. Kig.
All right. Would I be able to hop across this rock as like a bonus action with my
Yeah.
dash?
That's easy. It's only a
Cool.
5-foot gap.
There we go. And then I'm gonna move up to about right here. As high as up I can. It seems like as I can go. And I want to shoot the caster with my short bow. I'm still hidden, right?
You're standing on the highest point in the near vicinity. I don't know that I'd say you're hidden.
Okay, whatever. Then I'll just do it with a disadvantage.
Be the rock.
On top of Pride Rock. Hit.
Nice. That is at the caster. That sent a hole through my buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the lady that was casting the trident. You meant the guy at the ballista?
What? No, yeah, that was...
No, the guy cast the trident. Isn't the was it the ballista that shot
No.
Alexis?
No. Oh, you're right. You're right. I am mistaken. Yes, that person.
Thank you.
Red.
Yes, red. I will avenge you.
All right. Zaz, tired Zaz. You're up.
All right. Zaz is going to have another tired Zaz turn where his whole turn, the giant thing looks to be under control. The most exciting thing that's going to happen is he's going to try and slide down this little rock ledge.
Okay. Do you have athletics trained or proficient?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yes, I do, apparently.
Oh, nice. Then yeah, you just scuttle down it easily.
All right. And I'm seriously, I'm just picturing like he just like scoots down on
Yeah,
his butt real
it's more of
fast.
like a controlled fall using your scoots to just kind of slow the descent.
Yeah. And he's just going to keep marching. Yes, I have a bonus, or I have extra move if I'm not attacking, but I'd rather he's going to march here, and he's going to go back to tolling the dead on this sorceress, mostly just to get their attention. Shaking his shield like a big old bell, hoping to get someone to pay attention.
Roll damage.
Oh, look at that. Let's see how this goes.
Yes.
Nice.
Hey! I think I hit the right button.
Oh no, is anybody else like having a laggy Roll20 experience?
No.
Uh-oh.
No, not me. No.
Good.
Next it to you as well.
Me neither. Zaz, you toll the bell at the caster lady. It's incredibly disruptive. Let's see how disruptive. No, she matches. The conjured trident stays alive. Jezza, you're sneaking around the back.
Okay, so I am going to finally do something.
Yay!
With the tactical flank. Let's see, I'm making sure I measured this right. Yeah, 35. And it's any of the squares around a target I can attack from, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So I can still reach
Any
no
of
matter
the
what.
8 squares of adjacency.
Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 35. All right, so I'm going to position myself next to this guy. As I'm coming around, I kind of notice I look to my left because I haven't really been paying attention to like Jezza hasn't really been paying attention to the battlefield. So I just kind of come hurtling through the sand. I look over and I kind of go, "What the?" And I like shake my head clear, and then I focus on this guy, and I am going to attempt to whack him with my quarterstaff.
Quack.
Quack.
That
Nice.
is a critical hit.
And I'm also going to flurry
Crit
of
hit from
blows
both.
with 1 key point for 2 bonus attacks.
Do your
Okay,
crit roll
let's do
first.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's-
Actually.
So
Question:
16
is he
points
still
for-
alive?
After 16 points, he is. And
Okay.
we need to roll the 100-sided for your additional.
Oh,
critical
you're
effect.
right. How do I? Okay, do I just roll / 1 d100?
Yep, that's fine. / roll 1d. 46
Ooh.
is you are
Interesting.
able to maneuver towards your opponent while attacking and harass them. After your attack, you can choose to automatically succeed in grappling your opponent if you have a free hand, or shoving your opponent if both hands are currently in use.
Okay. Hear me out. I whack him. The quarterstaff like come in at a low angle, spinning strike right across the side of the head temple.
Okay.
He's dazed. I would now like to climb onto him and like put one arm around his neck and like start trying him to force him to use the starfish. Like cling onto like his upper neck type thing.
Okay.
Is that legit?
Give me just a moment to consider this.
He wants to mount the fish man.
I will pilot this fish man like a Gundam mech if I have to.
Don't make me turn this fish man around.
I'm imagining Black Widow in the first Avengers movie when she's got her knives in the back of that Chitauri
Yeah.
flying stuff.
Okay, I will allow you to do that, but it's going to cost you the additional action, the additional attacks to try to manipulate him. So the next time he makes an attack, you'll make an opposed grapple check. If you beat him, you can roughly aim where he's shooting.
Right, because he does have it out, right? Like the starfish thing?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's active. Yep.
Alright, cool.
All right, Alexis, you're still dying, or no, you're stable, but at 0. The caster will attempt to slash at Zaz with the flaming hot Cheeto weapon.
Oh, thank goodness.
Miss. And we'll try. I think she's just going to try to heal, actually. It always feels so weird to do that, knowing that it's probably just going to get reversed next turn, but. Alright. I'll take it.
That what heal wasn't flaming hot at all.
The big guy will strike once at Leo, once at Reed, both times with disadvantage because he's blinded. Uh, 13 doesn't hit. Nope.
Nope.
All misses, and then he makes his Constitution saving throw.
Man, what a disadvantage.
Wow.
That was a
Amazing.
clutch cast.
It really was. That's worked out really well, and it's like that's his strongest save. I literally get a +6.
Oh shit.
I thought, oh, that's gonna be bad. He's gonna be bummed when that doesn't work out. Every fucking turn.
I knew it was gonna be bad, but I figured it would be worth it.
Oh god, yes, apparently so.
Wait, we're not referring to the fish man that I'm on, are we?
No.
Okay.
No, we're referring to the 4-armed giant fishman
Yeah.
who should be destroying us all, but has been blinded by a simple spell this whole time.
Blinded by science. Magic, rather.
It's quite simple,
one
but very
set
effective.
of Tines at Zaz, one set of Tines at Kig, as they both have reloaded their tridents and fire. Oh, not with disadvantage though. So 15 and 11, both miss.
Better than
One
27.
because of a shield, the other because of you being on top of a giant rock.
Aha!
Excellent.
The guy that is currently being rowed by Jezza activates the starfish, drawing a line at Kig, and fires. So, Jezza, you and I are going to make opposed athletics checks.
Oh God, it would be athletics.
You can use acrobatics if it's better.
Thank you. I would very much
And,
like to do so.
Whoever wins basically decides where it's being pointed. 18,
So
no disadvantage. Normal roll was 18.
Okay,
You have to
I had to beat an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Good
No,
luck,
please work.
Rex City.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well
Alright.
done.
Nudging it slightly, I'll let you hit any of the 3 that are on the beach, like just before Kig.
Okay.
Either of the 2 melee guys or the caster gal.
Oh, okay. So it's a sweeping beam, right?
It's a single target effect.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
As I
my
start-
cool shit's not doing more cool shit.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I will accept my critical hit into riding the fish man with the laser beam.
That's pretty damn cool.
All right. So as
What
he's
class
like,
are you? Oh, monk.
I'm a street monk. I come from Double Dragon.
I'm a monk,
As he's,
but
like, aiming-
subclass is badass.
Yeah, he's attempting to aim the starfish kind of at Kig. I'm cursing and muttering in Goblin as I've got like my quarterstaff like pried against his
Don't shoot.
neck, and I'm like, no, not that one. And he's like struggling back and forth, like that scene from The Lion King. And I eventually get him to fire the beam directly into the back of the priestess.
Okay. Do you want to roll the damage or do you want me to?
How should I roll it?
4d6 plus 4.
Shit.
Oh my
That's a pretty good
Lanta.
roll. And exactly the number of hit points she has. You see them drawing the bead on Kig. You just dig in real hard using every ounce of your goblin strength
My
and your monk
tiny
training to just contort his body at the last second as he projects the beam, and it literally vaporizes the top half of the priestess, whose scaly web feet takes 2 steps backwards, falls to the ground, splashes into a puddle. That liquid serpentines towards that large aqueous bubble at the south of the shore and is absorbed into it.
Well,
Kel, it's your turn.
that takes care of what I was gonna do. Fuck.
Jez is murdering everyone.
You know what? Sure. I'm going to target the big dude with a Toll the Dead.
It's wisdom, correct?
Yep.
Now I roll
Wow.
decent.
You get
Damn.
1.
Yep. Not the Constitution saving throw that will. Yeah.
I'm going to run to the other side of the rocks to try and climb up to investigate the weird starfish.
Okay.
I don't think I can climb in the same move.
No, I think that's your move.
Okay, cool.
Reed, your turn.
No, not the elf. As Leo just said, so I'm going to move away from big bad guy here, knowing he doesn't not long for this world, and try to get up to Alexis to try to save her.
She's fine.
I
I
can
already
heal
saved
her.
her.
She's fine though. Deal with the big guy. What are you doing?
You're an elf. That's my priority.
He misses. Blindly slashing at you is ineffective.
Excellent. Okay. So 1d6 plus 4. So you recover 10 health plus the maximum number of your hit dice. Did I say 12? 8 health. Yeah. No. Yeah.
So he gains 12 HP.
So, guess what, Alexis? You have some health back.
Reed dashes back across the sands, opens up his alchemy bag, starts crushing herbs into a poultice, and begins applying them, working around the living storm that Zaz conjured inside of Alexis. And the combination of Zaz's magic and the healing salve and poultice applied by Reed, Alexis snaps back to consciousness. Temporary pain and fear in her eyes. She's back.
Don't worry, I closed Hades.
Elf, are you okay?
Something about dying to a lizard man.
Ugh. That's all I could do for now.
Thank you, Zaz, for not making me not have to roll hit dice and failing every single one of them. Or save dice.
Leo, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try to like kneecap this guy and just like manville right into his leg.
Okay. Hit.
Nice.
That is enough to kill him. Why don't you describe how you murdered the giant fish creature?
Like I said, I just kind of like winded up and like took out his legs from underneath him, and then I just like as he was falling, I just like slammed it straight down on his head, and just like bludgeoned his head into the ground.
Brutal.
Nice.
So basically, like sweeped his legs and just crushed his skull. It's pretty
Sweep the
awesome.
leg. Do you have a problem with that, Mr. Lawrence? Crush dead fishman. All right. Kig, it is your turn. As you are in the best position to see this, where that large 40-foot aqueous bubble is sitting at the shoreline, out of it steps a massive tentacly creature who seems to emerge from the bubble in response to that giant being slain. And she conjures in her right hand a trident that's like glittering with electrical energy and is totally golden to sight. And she points it at Zaz, which is the first person to
Aims it at Alexis and kills her again.
Right. Oh, shit.
That'd be amazing.
All I'm saying is I wouldn't put it past you, and I'd just go right back to Hades.
Hey, don't worry. When I fail my grapple check and I accidentally aim it at you and melt your top half off.
That'll be great. It'll be great.
Zaz, make a dexterity saving throw.
I have learned that Hades is a very fun game at this point, though.
You take 7 points of lightning damage as the trident just arcs electricity in the space between her and you, seemingly skipping all of the friendlies, but almost arcing to include Kig. If not for the elevation, he might have been hit. You dodge, getting partial cover behind the rocks, but you're still singed by it. All right, Kig, take your turn.
Wow.
Okay. Gosh, I really don't know what to do. I figured I should try and get rid of these things near Zaz since he just took that.
Probably.
So yeah, I'm gonna shoot the closest one to me.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost my character sheet.
That's a bad thing to lose.
Okay. That's a critical fumble.
Are you rolling it to disadvantage, though?
Yes.
Yeah, I am because
Oh, sunlight. You're right. You're right.
All right, weapon attack fumble table. Let's have that D100. We'll see how bad this is. Oh, this one just says you die.
Oh, jeez.
As you attack your opponent, you begin to fear they are the superior combatant. You have disadvantage on your next attack roll against that target.
That could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yay.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Zaz, it's your turn. You've just been shot by this giant tentacle creature who has got a vaguely feminoid shape.
Kinky.
out of character, that is a little more than vaguely. Good job.
It's all for you, bud.
Well, Zaz is a little more awake now, but is not going to charge headfirst because there's other fish people in the way. So he's going to just start whispering to Talos because he's kind of done yelling at everybody, and is going to get in between these guys. Right in between those guys because it's funnier. And is going to toll the dead at they're all in good health. So he's going to toll the dead at the blue one in the meantime. Which is...
I'm going to take some damage.
I'm great. Sorry. That's a 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, cool.
Looks like it's Jez's turn. It was a small bell. Little
Okay,
fancy
so
cat bell.
do I have to? How would you say we have to approach this? Right? Do I have to attempt to maintain my grapple, or can I use my turn to try and get him to fire the beam?
I think he's only going to fire on his turn, so on your turn, you can damage him, or you can maintain the grapple.
I would like to try and finish him off with my quarterstaff, and then, as he kind of falls out of the orb, I would like to attempt to take his place by shoving my hands into the water ball.
Okay. Start with quarterstaff.
I have a feeling that that's not going to work.
So I'm going to do a little spring leap off his back and attempt to come down straight on him with my quarterstaff.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
I will then spend 1 key point to do 2 unarmed flurry of blows attacks.
Nice.
Oh, right, I didn't spend a key point last turn. Right. So I can just,
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
That's the ticket.
Monks are fair and balanced, guys.
That's a hit.
Both of them, or?
12 is the AC we were looking for.
Lucky
And
sevens.
he's dead.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Well done.
You punch him to death, literally.
As I come down, I take 1 leg sweep. I miss with the quarterstaff. As I come down, I take my leg and I sweep him out to get him to come down. And then as he falls, I bring my other knee up into the base of his neck.
There's a
And then you stick your hand in the water.
gentle and gratifying snapping sound.
And now I'd like to... I'm assuming the water ball, without its controllers attempting to re-enter the starfish.
The moment he's no longer touching it, it starts to, not instantly, but pretty rapidly just recede back into the starfish.
I would like to try and shove my hands into the water ball to get it to stop going down.
It feels just like running water from a waterfall under your hands. It slips right through your open fingers, over your palms, down your forearm, offering very little resistance until it's all back inserted into the starfish. And then the starfish hums, ceases, and it's silent and inert.
I'm kind of standing there with wet arms and my quarterstaff on the ground, just kind of looking at it piss.
You son of a bitch. You have movement left if you want it.
I kind of look up and see a big, giant, scary fish lady.
Mm-hmm.
Does she know I'm here? Would you say she's aware of my presence?
I would say that.
Okay, I am going to run over here.
Run away!
Yeah. Without screaming, even though I think she
Yes.
sees me, I'm going to grab my stick and I'm going to run, scrambling as I need to through the sand to hide behind the rock.
All right, Alexis.
I missed. Don't worry about it.
Is the light crossbow better for you than firebolt?
I don't have firebolt.
Interesting.
Really?
Nope.
Do you want to move, Alexis?
In the opposite direction.
That is the correct answer.
Over here.
Kel, it's your turn.
When does the giant tentacle lady go?
Oh,
We don't
fair
wanna
point.
know.
On a 15, and you're right to remind me to do that.
Not that I don't mind that she doesn't go, but I'd like at least a little bit of a challenge.
Well then,
Please
well
don't
then the
kill me.
giant tentacle lady goes before Kel does it not?
Yep.
Yeah. The creature that was marking the initiative got deaded, and I deleted it without thinking. Thanks for catching that. We'll start with the two guys that are sandwiching Zaz. They're gonna make trident attacks.
Tridentical attacks?
Do enemies also get that table?
I think good for the goose, good for the gander. What do you guys think?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with that.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm opposed to it.
You kick your target's weapon out of their hands. You are able to take the disarm action after you attack, and you can steal your opponent's weapon if you have a free hand. Otherwise, you knock it up to 20 feet away.
My freaking hammer? Leave me alone.
The blue one, we'll call him Blue Bitch, smacks the hammer out of your hand, knocking it into the stone outcropping about there. And they laugh at you because they're mean and they're bullies. The bizarre tentacle lady surprises everyone as all the tentacles, like prehensile tails, suddenly become stiff and rigid, sticking out on end, making her look like this giant 9-pointed star. And she screams with a kind of sound that you think was only ever really designed to translate through a liquid medium because it sounds awkward and painful to hear it in your ears. And then, to the shock and surprise of everyone, she speaks a few words in common. I am death. Face now, Undine.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
Remember like an hour ago and I was like, I'm not going to tolerate Unsili being here? This is pretty bad too.
This will be fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Who's
Uh,
Undine? Who's Undine?
Kig, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Copy.
Okay.
Don't fall off the rock.
You take. Oh, actually, do you have evasion? I don't remember when rogues get that.
No.
Okay, then you take 7 points of lightning damage as electricity arcs from that trident that she's got, shattering some of the pieces of shale that make up the cliff you're standing on, and the rest of it just kind of wraps around your body, burning you. You duck and cover, trying to ground it out on the stone, which has some level of success, but she still hits you for 7.
I couldn't redirect it like Zuko.
You tried though. That's what matters.
It's one of the more
I'm a
advanced
failure.
firebending techniques. I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. All right, Kel.
I'm gonna, if I can, toss both my badger and my familiar up onto the rock and tell my familiar to go look at the starfish.
Okay.
Yes.
As your familiar approaches the starfish, it begins to hum.
Cool, that's what I thought. I'm gonna try and climb that rock. Can I use acrobatics like Reed was able to?
Are you trained in it? Are you proficient in it? I don't know why I keep saying trained, guys. I'm sorry. Are you proficient in acrobatics?
No, but it's better than my athletics.
Go ahead. Let's
Okay.
give it a try. You watched
You
him
could
do it,
use-
so I would say no disadvantage because you have a blueprint in your mind of how it's supposed to work.
He baited the route for me.
You could use the Manville elevator.
Uh,
At some point, I feel like that's just going to be your dick.
Oh, good times.
fuck. Well, I fell on my ass.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'll give you two choices. You can basically fall back down or be halfway up, but kind of done with your turn because you're in space.
I'll do halfway up. Can I yell to my, or is my familiar able to actually use the starfish?
I honestly don't know. I don't think so, but give me just 1 second to read something.
Quickly sniff in this direction.
Can a dead fish man use the starfish? Hello.
I would say yes, but it's going to have to use the familiar's like statistics.
Okay. Sure.
What is the base animal? Is it cat?
Yeah, cat. Just want to do the weird stuff.
So no proficiency, but it's got a dex of 2. So if you want the cat to try to activate it, you're just at a d20 plus 2.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'd like to have the cat activate it and aim at the tentacle lady.
Okay. Unsurprisingly, the cat is able to activate the device. The orb rises just to the level of the undead kitty cat face. It hums, it pulses, and flashes, creating that same 1 foot diameter channeling white beam. It zaps right past Kig, cutting through a trough through that shale platform that he's standing on. Misses the tentacle lady by a country mile. But the cat just kind of looks back down at you.
Good job.
All right. Reed.
All right. Having attended to Alexis, I'm going to go ahead and jump on down and rejoin the fray, and I'm going to cast Radiant Sunbolt at this fella right here. My hand starts to glow with light as I concentrate and shoot a bolt out from my hand. Why am I? That wasn't supposed to be.
16 still hits.
Okay. 6 damage, and I will spend a key point if it's not dead. I don't think it is. To do my 2 more. Hands continue to glow, and I shoot 2 more bolts.
Excuse me.
Nice. Those are all hits. That's you actually your radiant sunbolts, I think, are always doing above average damage.
I approve of this.
Like
Since
over the
it's
course of
1
a turn,
d4.
it's
Well, that first one only did like I rolled a 1. So
fine, maybe
For
at average, but still, the way everybody else seems to be rolling tonight, it is nice. You've pummeled into him with your radiant bolts a few times. You cracked armor. He's bleeding through a few places, but still combat effective. These guys can take a licking and keep on ticking. Do you want to move anymore? Or no, I guess you're out of movement, huh?
Nope, I think I'm done. I'm going to
Okay.
stay right where I am.
Leo, you just crush giant fishman.
I'm gonna rush over here and like kind of hop off the rock and just slam my hammer down on top of this guy in blue.
I'm going Disneyland. A critical hit.
And I roll this one. Nice.
Oh lord.
Wow. So in one night we've seen
Ooh.
2 of the exact same critical effect.
That's
You can
nuts.
knock a weapon out of his hand.
Yeah, I'll knock it towards Zaz.
Okay. Zaz at your feet. Leo has punched the guy so hard he's dropped his trident at your feet. Go ahead and roll damage for that Manville strike.
Seems pretty good.
You crush him to death, like sinking his head down deep into his shoulders and chest cavity. He collapses, and as soon as he hits the sand, he liquefies, becoming this string of water that leaks towards that aqueous orb and is absorbed. And you watch as the tentacle lady just shakes her head. Undine seems visibly distraught at the loss of another soldier.
Does the trident also liquefy?
It does. Yep.
Okay, then I'm gonna toss. I have a light hammer on me, so I'm gonna like pull it off my belt and just toss it to Zaz. Be like,
Okay.
stay in the fight.
And that's probably your turn. Kig. Leo smashed one through a
All
hand
right.
of Zaz. Undine is still undamaged. What do you want to do?
I want to dash to red and hit her with my sword.
But Kig the sword.
Kig, the sword's in play.
Finally.
I hear he's a dagger.
Though I believe I have that critical fumble disadvantage, so even with pack
On
tactics.
specifically the target that you fumbled on, you hit the
For what
blue
it's
one.
worth, the target that you had auto disadvantage on is now dead.
So you don't have that
Oh, okay.
disadvantage. Is what I'm
It
trying to
just
get at.
says your target.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Can you
The
hear me?
target that you rolled on, I think, is all that
Okay.
matters. And one other point of note is that you can't have like multiple iterations of advantage and disadvantage don't stack. So if you have disadvantage twice and advantage once, you're still just an even roll.
Oh, okay. I just figured because of like the critical fumble, that would probably just take precedence or something. I don't know. But okay.
You're good.
Sweet. Then I'm just gonna stab this guy in the back.
Alright.
Heck yeah.
That is a hit.
Oh
Damn.
my
Heck yeah.
lord.
Nice.
He is immediately and instantly killed.
Eviscerated.
Just smiling at the group, and that's why they call me Kig the sword.
Exactly.
Using the cloak of the dead guy to wipe your blade off before you resheath it.
Ooh, nifty nickname. Can I use that on you?
That's why they call me Reed the sword.
That's why we call me Reed. Kick the sword.
No. Doesn't have the same kind of ring.
I
to
think
it.
it's because he reads between the lines.
Zaz,
Hey.
you're up. You turn in combat to watch Leo and Kig finally come to your aid, and Leo tosses you a hammer. The only hostile that remains before you is the monstrous Undine.
Zaz is not used to being around this many people or fighting with other people. So he's going to block that hammer, just like deflect it with his shield.
Nice.
The instincts of, oh crap, I'm under attack.
Stop. Pink.
And he's going to keep walking, this time up to Undine, the Undine, and say, Talos says, you cannot be here. And he's going to keep tolling the dead, now with actually nothing in his hand, just like tolling an invisible bell.
Oh, no,
Oh.
go ahead. Roll your damage. That ain't gonna get it done.
Okay.
Nice.
Pretty good, damn.
She's visibly shaken by your tolling of the bell.
It's only fair. She did like the exact same thing to us.
Mhm. Jezza.
Okay. So, I heard what came out of the giant fish lady's mouth. So, in a moment of sheer goblin inspiration, as you do, I'm going to move back to the starfish. And I am going to try and mimic the words she said in her language, just like try and replicate the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see if that does anything to the starfish.
Okay, make a performance roll.
Ooh, this sounds fun. Wow.
You perfectly, like a mimic, duplicate the exact tone, intonation, and words she spoke. It has no effect whatsoever on the starfish. But Undine turns immediately, head on a swivel, to stare at you and focuses at you, cocking her head almost like a small puppy that doesn't understand. I will give advantage to the very next attack that is made against her, as she's distracted by Jezza's miming her words.
I have an idea.
Okay, well, my turn's not done. I would like to try and mimic more fish people sounds to try and make the thing do something. Was that my action? Am I not allowed to do it once more?
I think that was your action, yeah.
Okay. Looking at the fish lady, I kind of smile, and I kind of like slowly inch my way over to this boulder and just kind of hide behind it. I'll kind of like
shrugging a little.
I'm like peeking out at her, like just kind of looking at her.
Just kidding.
And I end my turn.
Alexis. Everybody's converging on Undine. You see Jezza put on quite a performance, duplicating the creature's sound, then she slinks away behind a boulder.
I think you're muted.
Nope. I'm just not saying anything.
Oh, okay.
I had
And her speed is slowed by 10, right? A very thin, very pale beam of white energy releases from Alexis's hand, shrouded in purple shadow, striking into her. But the creature is just so massive, the ice that's trying to grow around her, forming into the ground to lock her in place, she just snaps free of. It is her turn to go. Sorry, I'm debating what to do here. I think she's going to make a singular trident attack against Zaz. Pull to ice. For 19 points of piercing damage.
So, well, that's really bad.
It is really bad. You drop to 0 hit points.
Ouch.
I would like to react before that.
Okay.
I've been talking about Talos a lot for a while, so I'm going to use Wrath the Storm before I go down.
I'm reading this. Okay. I fail my dexterity check.
Oh boy.
Nice.
So you want me to roll or do you want to roll? It's better when you do it, yep.
Yeah.
9 points of damage. Storm God's retribution. Lightning arcs off of your form as she stabs you. into her trident, into her body, shocking her profusely. After which your form goes limp in the sand.
Yeah, that happens.
Twice in a fight. Yikes.
Next, after effectively killing Zaz, she stares down all of you, just repeating out loud the word death. And then she throws her trident at Kig, but in the air, the trident disperses and becomes just a crackling beam of lightning. It arcs between Kig, Leo, and Reed, ending at Reed. I need all three of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh god. Can I just click on dexterity for that?
The dexterity save. Make sure it's
Oh,
not an
shit.
ability check
Where's-
because it might be better.
Let me see where that's at.
Should be right next to it.
Oh, okay. I think it's. I don't know why I had advantage.
12 is the first roll anyway, so. Kig takes 8, Reed takes 16, and Leo takes 16. Actually, I guess in raging you take half? No, that's only totem barbarians that take resistance to all damage, right?
Yeah.
You're just bludgeoning, piercing, and yeah.
Isn't Kig's a 24? Or is that not good enough?
That's good enough. He takes half.
Oh, sorry. I didn't understand.
Half of 16 is 8. Everybody else takes the full 16. Kel, it's your turn.
I'm going to try and climb the rest of the way up.
I'll allow it to happen, just because you've spent enough time practicing now.
Okay.
You're half of the way there. That's the hard part.
Okay. I'm a firing my laser, assuming I can do that.
Yep. As you approach the starfish, in response to your presence, it hums to life. The small globe of water rises up to the position of your hands at like approximately waist level, and as you grasp, the orb itself becomes firm, rigid, and energetic. You can feel it like vibrating under your touch, and there's this sensation of trying to almost draw energy from you. In a metagame context, you can fire it as is, or you can pump spell slots into it to make the attack do additional damage.
Okay. Well, I don't have a lot to do with that. Am I rolling? What am I rolling to hit with?
A +6.
Oh, well. I'm gonna fist bump Hazel because she did a good job trying to fire the laser on her own, and I'm gonna roll to hit the big tentacle lady.
Okay, I hear you, girl.
That is not how you roll.
Oh no! Unfortunately, the 12 just misses Undine. She's very languid. She doesn't really seem to have conventional bones. Probably just dense cartilage, and she just contorts in the weirdest ways, kind of coiling around the blast as it shoots past her.
I also yelled to Alexis to get to the other starfish.
Not gonna happen.
That's fine. Worth a shot.
Having seen Zaz go down, I'm going to move right in and use my healing kit. Whoops, that was not what I meant to do. What the hell was that? There we go. D6 plus 4. You take 8 points of healing plus your maximum hit dice. And then as a bonus action, I'm going to turn to this Undine, spend a key point, and use my Radiant Sunbolt.
Okay.
Actually, Leo, don't move.
What?
Don't move.
Oh, finally a low roll for that shit. That's not fair.
Are you ready for hammer shenanigans?
Always. But I go next.
Zell, are you having a stroke?
Well, I'm saying
Apparently,
don't
click on
move
other
from your
people's abilities.
don't move from your position.
At all.
Both sunbolts miss.
Yeah, don't move from your position at all. I need you to be there. You're at the distance. You're at the max distance that I can move.
Leo, it
you.
is your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna run here
Can't.
and
Well,
pick up his hammer, Zaz's hammer,
Okay.
and just kind of toss it to him. Be like, and just kind of yell, "Don't flinch this time!"
2 for flinching.
And then I'm just gonna run back here and pick up my hammer, and then run back to where I was, I guess.
Okay.
And get ready for Alexis to do hammer shenanigans. I'm just gonna ready in action, I guess.
Kig. Kig the guy.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna just move up as well. Still kind of heated, even though he's back alive. I was a little upset over the loss of my kobold buddy. And I'm gonna go in for a normal short sword attack. Good lord. Oh.
A hit and
You should really use your sword more.
it does seem to be more effective. All right. Zaz.
Is Zaz not dead?
Nope.
No. Reed
Zaz
used his
was
healing
healed.
kit to
Right.
restore
Okay. Yes. You're right. Wait a minute.
I cannot
Zaz
heal
is-
you again.
Well, then maybe you should try hurting something.
Got him.
You have one job.
I should have left.
Zaz
you
is now
dead.
apparently holding a hammer.
Your hammer.
It is his hammer.
his hammer.
That is true. And is still not going to swing the hammer because that's terrible. This hammer is ornamental. It's got lightning bolts on it. They're not real lightning.
This is entirely ceremonial.
He pretty much is. Ask him about his crossbow. He's going to continue to toll the dead, and at this point, he's just like in her. I was going to say face, but let's be honest, actually crotch, shouting the name Talos over and over again.
just die already.
Chanting it, just Talos.
Made the
Talos.
So that is half damage, I think. Nope, it's no damage.
It is no damage. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but you do hear a bizarre echo, and you're not sure where it's coming from.
Oh dear.
It's probably fine.
Jezza, it's your turn.
Okay, so I've been peering over the rock this whole time, and I see this beam come down from Kel on the rock on high, and I just kind of stand up, and I just kind of like shrug my arms, like, why does he get to do it? Why do they? Sorry. I'm just kind of like, I'm looking at everyone getting like moving in on this giant fish lady, and I look at the other starfish, and I just feel real depressed for a second, and then I decide to just hop the rock and charge at Undyne. Come in with a quarterstaff attack on the big fish lady.
Yes, hit.
Alright, I'm going to add Fury of the Small, because she is most definitely bigger than me.
In fact, she is.
Yeah. And I'll also spend 1 key point to do Flurry of Blows. So, +4, so that's 16. But then...
While Jez is doing this, I got a question.
Okay.
If I have a successful run of infestation on this thing, and I cause it to move 5 feet, and it moves away from all the melee people, do all the melee people get to do subsequent attacks of opportunity?
Opportunity? No. Force movement doesn't provoke.
Damn, I thought I was gonna be real clever with that, but that's okay.
It is very clever thinking, though.
So 16 plus 8, and then one of the attacks is a fumble.
Womp womp. Let's pull up the fumble table.
So how does this work? We do the damage first and then I do the fumble, or?
I've marked the damage off already. Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
probably I shouldn't in case the fumble is. I don't know actually. I don't know what's on the fumble table yet. This is kind of fun.
But it is an unarmed strike.
Yeah. As you attack your opponent, you begin to fear they are the superior combatant. You have disadvantage on your next attack roll against your target.
Ah!
That's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had
got
2 60s and 2
big
30s.
clusters. Yeah.
That's nuts.
So
Random dice is random.
16, 24 damage total to the fish lady from me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any additional movement, or are you good where you are?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna use Nimble Escape to use Wait, no, I already used my bonus action. Never mind. What am I talking about? I can't do anything. I am now stuck against a giant fish lady, and very sad that I could not fire a laser beam.
Okay. Alexis, it's your turn.
Taking note of Kel saying, "Hey, you should probably get on the other one." I'm going to slide down the hill and move my way all the way here, because that is 20 feet and that is 10 feet, and therefore I have 30 feet, and I got here. And then I'm like, "Hey, Leo, you should throw me over at the other thing," or try to.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Just gonna put her on my
What do we
hammer
do?
and just catapult.
What do we do?
Okay.
Because I am a little bit bigger than.
Leo's
goblin.
gonna make a strength check. It has to be over
my God.
15 or just no dice. Alexis, you have to make an acrobatics check. If that's the case, I will let you move. I'll let you land there. It's about 50 feet, which is a little bit farther than I think Leo could throw you, but it's thematically appropriate. If you, however, do not make a 15 or better acrobatics check, you will take 3d6 of falling damage from the height.
Yes.
In other words, the athletics is you sticking the landing. The fail of the athletics is he put you right where you needed to be, but you were not prepared for being thrown 50 feet.
All right. Might as well try.
All right.
Go.
Yeah, yeet.
Nice.
Strength is good. Acrobatics is good. He sticks the landing. You land adjacent to the thingy bopper.
And then I try to use it, because I don't think I've used an action quite yet.
You as you approach it in proximity, it hums to life. You can hear it. You can feel it vibrating through the sand. You can feel the hum and hear it in your eardrums. A small basketball-sized globe of water rises up out of the starfish, and you are able to interact with it. As Kel experienced previously, it seems to want to draw power directly from you. You don't have any spell slots left, so
Can I
you
use
can make
sorcery
a
points?
standard attack. Sure. Actually, I don't mind that.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this really cool backflip, flip wizard bullshit, and I'm gonna grab the water ball as it's coming down to slow my fall, so my hand's just kind of scraping through the water. I'm gonna land. I'm gonna turn turn my attention to it. I'm gonna pump a sorcery slot, well, whatever, one of those
Mhm.
points into it, and I'm gonna fire at the lady. And I don't know what I'm doing here. Sorry.
Roll a d20 plus 6, and say I'm gonna pump it into her one more time.
Oh God, no.
No.
No,
Yes.
thank you. Please don't.
He'll give you advantages if you do.
I think
25 is a successful hit, and roll 6d6.
Okay.
All right, you know what?
Oh my lord!
That is literal
That is-
average.
That's the law of averages in play.
How did you do that?
Have you seen my rolls? They're either extremely good or extremely bad.
Or extremely neutral.
Well, no,
Well,
this
this
is
case it's
or
extremely good
extremely
and
neutral.
extremely bad.
Yeah, I love that. That's just. I have 6 chances, 3 of the best possible outcome, and 3 of the worst possible outcome. That sounds right for us.
A little bit
Delightful.
of this, a little bit of that.
All right. The beam activates, boring through her. You cut off 2 of the smaller head tentacles and shear through the webbing under her right arm, blowing out her rib cage and a portion of her right breast. Visibly, critically wounded, she howls, taking one look at you, assessing the situation, realizing that this is maybe not a winning battle for her, and she withdraws, blinking, leaving behind a small little like silhouette of water from where she was and reappearing in this aqueous orb. She screams at you in a language you don't understand, but I mean, you get the gist of what she's probably saying. None of it's polite. Some of it's probably about your mother's. And
Do
the
they walk
aqueous
away?
orb begins to recede back into the tide. Her eye line never breaks yours until it disappears beneath the surface.
I'm just gonna say, she walked away from a bunch of people in melee.
She teleported away from a bunch of people in melee.
Can I take
Yeah.
off one more pot shot?
Sure. Yeah, hit.
Oh no.
Wait,
Wow.
wait, my sorcery point did nothing. If that's the case.
Yeah, you're rolling 4d6, Kel.
Oh. So take the first 4. Should be 16. Yeah.
Nice. She goes to 6 hit points and disappears beneath the waves.
So
Critically
I could've
wounded,
used one of
she
my spell
withdraws.
slots.
As she withdraws, the 2 starfish also immediately liquefy and begin just trailing off into the ocean in the direction of the aqueous orb's last position. You take one quick surveil of the battlefield, and there's the broken ship, a bunch of dead bodies from the broken ship. There are no enemy force bodies. There is no enemy force technology left behind. But as you're examining things, her golden trident remains plunged in the sand.
Ooh, shiny.
yeah, I want it.
I'll go check
I
it
walk
out.
up. I walk up and pick it up.
Well, isn't it over here?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's over there.
I'll
Over here.
yeah.
I was there first.
Seems like Leo would be the
I'll just walk up to it. I'm just gonna like inspect it, basically.
Yeah, like you guys are holding it up over 3 feet. I'm just kind of dangling by.
Are
Are
the
you
people-
going to touch it?
No, I'm not. I'm just gonna like inspect it and kind of like
Okay.
I'll
see if
roll
I
to
can,
touch it.
you know.
You admire it. It's almost 16 feet long, buried 4 feet in the dirt, and you estimate it's got to weigh 300 or 400 pounds. It's an impressive weapon for a giant
Dang.
creature. You marvel at the
I try to pick it up.
at the craftsmanship. Kig, you try to touch it. You
Yes.
grasp it. You can't even wrap both hands together around the circumference of the haft. And as you
Aw.
try to yank it up out of the sand, it immediately shrinks down, rapidly decreasing in size until it's appropriately sized for you.
Oh, sweet!
You now hold a golden trident in your hand. It crackles with untold potential.
Hell yeah! Oh my god! Call me Kick the Trident.
I need everybody quickly to make a perception check.
Oh no, no, no more.
Ugh.
Yes, look at us kobolds. Oh my god.
I was trying to ask, are those people still there on the beach?
No, they were taken away in the orb.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only got a 15. The kobolds have disadvantage for that because it's
Because
sunny
it is
out.
sunny.
Oh right, same here.
You guys are all in elation, celebrating both the victory, the defeat of Undine, the amazing golden trident left behind, and there's suddenly motion amongst the sand near that shipwreck. As you turn to investigate the motion, like sometimes you can just see something moving. You don't necessarily know what it is, but you can see the motion itself. The ground there is charred black, in some cases even turned to like dark paned glass, where Kel's witch bolt went awry, and from out of one of those areas of charred glass, a small charred hand crawls up out of the sand. Everybody, I imagine, is on edge, and you wait just one moment more to see the small frame of a young 10 or 12-year-old boy crawl out of the hole in the sand. The back half of his head is missing, and there's an obvious crack, jagged gash in his face from the base of his skull, wrapping around the right side of his face and jaw.
I
And
immediately
he stumbles to his feet, uncertainly wobbling towards you, and just, "Have you seen my mom?"
Mummy. Immediately run to him to see if there's something I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Big no.
I'm gonna look at
Hey,
Kel and be
I
like,
stay back.
"Did you do that?"
So hey, Try.
Yeah, no thanks.
So you know
OP.
that water skin that I have filled with the magic water? What is it doing right now?
It's violently, rapidly pointing in the direction that you last saw Undine. It's like at a feverish pitch, trying to break through the leather of the water skin.
Cool.
Oh, hey Kel,
Is
Yeah.
there anything I can do for this poor child?
did you know that you raised this child on a freak necromancy accident?
Oh,
Uh,
never mind.
cool.
Kill it.
It wanders around looking for each of you in turn to answer its question if you've seen his mommy.
Would I
I'm
be
I'm
a
gonna point
mummy?
at Kel and be like, "Whatever there,
I
lad."
instinctively kind of look at this. Probably shouldn't be a live child. Feel a certain kinship with it for some reason. I don't know why. And then I point at Kel and be like, "Is it this person?"
The child approaches Kel and just tries to put its small hand out to grasp at yours, reaching above his shoulder height to reach your hand. "My name is Opie. Will you
Uh,
take care of me?"
I kneel down into the sand and give Opie a hug. Yes, I will.
He embraces you. Everyone else gets to see that the back of Opie's head is just half collapsed skull and exposed brain. But Kel doesn't seem to be that put off by it.
I don't think I can heal that, says Reed. Warily.
I think we need to find some hats.
Nice.
I take my cloak off and the hood and put it over Opie to cover his head, so no one else has to look at it.
Aw. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I think this is a good spot for us to call it a night.
All right.
Yeah, we'll pick up here in 2 weeks if that's all right with everybody.
Yep.
Sure.
Can we-
Sounds good. This was
Can
fun.
we say we did a long rest?
No.
No.
No, come on.
I can say that.
I don't want to do another fight with nothing.
I've got one spell slot.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is.
I don't.
a
I have
potential
had
lesson
zero
about-
the
Someone have a
entire.
spell?
You've had spells this entire time. You haven't used them. I've had 0 spell slots this entire fight.
I didn't use my last spell slot on that last shot because I was worried we'd have another fucking fight.
I'm out of
I don't know about
key.
you
I can
guys,
only
but I'm
heal
doing
half
great in
the
these
party.
fights, and I'm ready for another one.
Yeah, I mean, look at Leo, guys. He's got all of his spell slots still. He hasn't spent a single one of them.
I'm still above half health. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, resource management is a little tricky for casters at lower levels. It gets easier with an extra level or two, but like the governing rule of thumb, the prevailing principle, especially in a larger group, is you can expect between 4 and 6 like encounters at different difficulties, probably in a combat day, with a short rest between every 1 or 2. Now, if they're like life and death encounters, you're probably only doing 3 or 4 of those in a day, but to help you sort of like, so that expectations can be adjusted to meet reality, I would prepare for the possibility of there being 3 or 4 encounters every day, with there being a chance for a short rest kind of whenever it's convenient.
Okay. Because I was expecting like 2 major fights like that max, but no, 3 just kind of just fucked me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the problem with only doing 2 combats per rest is that it lets everybody just kind of alpha strike everything. If you've got 6 spell slots, then everyone just unloads their most powerful spells at every creature and then wants to rest for the day. It's the sleepy wizard problem that's existed since the dawn of time, because it's a wizard with 19 spell slots will just show up, delete everything on the beach in one turn, but then sleepy wizard needs to sleep.
Actually, knowing me, I'm gonna show up, waste every spell slot on missed attacks, and wonder why they're living their life, and then sleep on the beach.
Like,
yeah.
I think the ideal allotment is kind of the way Feisty's been playing Kel, where it's like you try to allocate the most advantageous spell slot spells to moments of where you think they're going to be the most impactful, rather than just I've got 3 spell slots, so fireball.
Also, I have a problem on my skill sheet. I have darkness on here twice, and I don't